Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to our Extreme Live. Believe it or not, it's already November the 12th, and here we are again. We appreciate you coming on with us tonight. We've got some fun things to talk about tonight. We've got our segment called Wrap Your Mind Around This. David came up with a neat topic I think will be fun to talk about tonight, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And we're going to have some artwork to show tonight. Charles has got pieces he wants to show you.
Right.
David's got some pieces he's going to show tonight. And I've got a few things I want to show you a little bit more seasonal. But I think it'll be fun. So we appreciate you joining. And once again, just to remind you, you can chat with us at the website, the Ustream website. They've got a chat place available. You can go to our Artstream Live Facebook page. You can watch from there. Over to the left, they've got the Ustream button. You can click, watch it right on Facebook. You can email us at artstreamlive@gmail.com, or you can call us. You'll see a scroll across the top. If you got a question, email, call, whatever you need, just get in touch with us. We're here to interact.
Operators are waiting.
Operators are waiting, that's right. So we're here to interact with you, and we appreciate you joining us tonight. So why don't we go to the next part?
What? What?
Okay, tonight we're going to talk about collecting art. How do you get started? What do you collect? How do you decide what to collect? And who can collect? I think anyone can be a serious art collector. You just have to get started. You don't have to be wealthy. Just have to be dedicated and actually want to do it. Put some energy into it, some research. A good example of this is some people called Herb and Dorothy Vogel. He was a mail carrier, mail sorter, and she was a librarian. And over the years, on those two middle-class incomes, they managed to put together probably the largest private contemporary art collection in the world. They filled up an entire museum with it. When the museum that they donated it to started cataloging it and packing it, they filled up 7 truckloads of art. And this year they have donated 50 more art pieces to 50 museums in all 50 states, one for each state.
And actually, they had Netflix had a documentary on these.
Well, they're coming out with another one.
Right.
I'm a small donor to it through Kickstarter. But this next year they'll come out with another video about the Vogels called 50 by 50.
Yeah, David brought up a good point. I'm involved in the museum world and my daytime job. But one thing, like David said, you don't have to be wealthy, but passion. The people I've met that are collectors, they really, they have a love for it. Now, they may not be artists. Maybe they've never drawn or painted or done pottery, but they're interested. But they love it, yeah.
I've ran across people that didn't even know they was collectors.
Yeah.
Until they, until artists may have brought it up to them because they have collected over the years, and they just had stuff, and they thought they just had.
They bought it because they liked it.
Well, yeah, they bought it because they like it, but they just got to the point that when you find out you didn't know what you have and not having the right appraisal, and some people are afraid to get their artwork appraised, simply because they say, well, I love it, I don't really want to know the price of it.
Well, that's the key, though. I think you brought up a good point, like David was talking about, the fact that they have a passion for it. It's really not based on an investment way of thinking. That could come later as your collection grows. And of course, when you're getting ready, like he talked about the couple donating to the museum, you to that point, you definitely want to praise it. But you start off because it's something you really care about. It struck you. Like I know I've watched people walk up. And when I've been at the art shows with Charles, you'll see somebody 100 feet away, and they'll lock on his pottery, and you may have 30 artists around, and they'll go straight to his booth because they just see something that strikes a chord, and that starts something. That passion they find your work, they discover you, and hopefully they come back again later, and they actually start becoming a collector because of the passion they had for your work to begin with.
Well, you have those ones that strike a chord simply because they're getting it one-on-one. I think this if you come to collect, it's probably would be better to kind of figure out the artist that you really want to collect, that you're interested in, and try to have that one-on-one because over a period of time, those artists are going to change.
Right.
And when you go into with that development of how they interact with their medium, is that the different styles are going to be going to change in price over a period of years. And a lot of people don't understand that. That's why I was getting into the appraisal end of it, because if they have the work appraisal, if they have it appraised, and once they have it documented, that's going to help the artist and the collector.
Right. Well, I was talking to David before we went on tonight, and like I said, being involved in the museum, a lot of times in the museum you'll have collectors, and then collectors will donate to a museum, but a lot of times the museum may not want to add a piece to the collection because the artist, even though the collector really likes it, maybe that artist did not have a track record.
True.
But that's where the collectors come in, because the fact that they will start collecting art, I've seen the opposite, the fact that people collect it. And a lot of collectors, I mean, these are like their children. They love to have people come to the home. And I'm talking about collectors. I've been in homes where, I mean, they may have, you almost can't walk through the house without bumping into art. True. Because it's really a passion. People come in the home and they see the art. And these collectors are actually like showing the artist to the world. And then that gets more people collecting. And it gets to the point, what happens then is that the collectors have actually made the artists have the track record that the institutions are interested in.
True, and it's not that point where you collect, and a lot of people make the mistake about they going in and they want to collect to the couch.
Right.
You don't want to do it. You get what you like, and if you want to be eclectic, then you just have it. So because it's your stuff, your house, you don't need a decorator to come in and tell you need to go here, you need to go there. I think a lot of people have gotten the wrong end of the stick, per se, when you have people coming in, they just decorating just because of the couch.
Right. I know some people want home decor, they want a theme, but you're right.
Well, that's totally different.
Than the art side of it, right? And the collectors, like I've said, that I've met through the museum, that's the last thing they do worry about. They, like you said, it's the passion. They love it. And like David said, one thing he talked about on here is like how to collect. Well, do your homework, like he talks about. A good way is visit galleries.
As many as possible.
Local galleries and artists. It may not be a big name gallery, but that's okay. Artists got to start somewhere.
Yeah, but even a case if you're on a small budget, and I've had this when I first started. If you got the income is not there, but you got this love of art, and if you could do a trade out, you could do bartering. I think that's something that's been lost down through the years. Yeah. But if you got goods and services, that's a good way to start. Well, I mean, we all need
between us.
Well, yeah, we've done that now.
I
mean, I've had situations where I've swapped out for restaurant favors. I mean,
dentistry.
I got a set of tires for my truck.
Well, that's just another way, and that's where the artist-collector interaction. That's the good thing. Like you said, it's one-on-one, and that opens the door. That's a possibility.
Because the more work you have out there, that means more people are going to see it. And if you got a client that's really in your favor, and they're going to, that's better than any commercial where you got these people that got the credentials and they got friends and relatives that know that they know art. That always going to be a referral.
Because go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say there's a lot of things if somebody's new to the art world and really hasn't even started a collection, or if they're new to it, like we mentioned, you go to as many galleries as possible. Another thing with the internet, you search out artist websites, blogs, webcasts like this one, and you start seeing what's out there, because it's huge. What's out there is just so much stuff. It's almost impossible to categorize it. But that way you'll start getting a feel for what you like, what direction you might want to go with a serious collection.
Right.
Get on artist and gallery mailing lists for email and actually mailed newsletters they send them out. Visit museums, guided tours at museums.
Right.
They give lectures.
And one thing a lot of museums do, you know, they'll have the art history areas,
Right.
but a lot of museums also have a regional area where they try to show artists from the area.
Right.
So that's another good thing in a museum, to find out what's
Right.
in your area. So that's a good thing with
Art
that.
fairs.
Yeah, the art fairs are another way to do it.
Buy books, read books about art, artists, subscribe to some art magazines, read some of the reviews. Of course, the reviews, you have to remember that these are a single person's opinion.
Right.
And we
So
ran
you read,
across that.
read several
Well,
reviews so
sure.
you get a
And,
wide
and that's what makes the art
perspective.
world go around. Like you mentioned art fairs. I know that I've met people they'd never think to step into an art fair. But I find that to be a mistake, because I have seen, like I said, I did art fairs for 20, 25 years. I'm now more involved in the institutional museum world. But I have seen artists that were out there at the art shows that are in museums. And there's definitely museum quality work we're collecting at the art fairs. And some of them have a national reputation.
Well, that's
so,
why it's good to get the pick 2 or 3 artists that you really like and stick with those artists for several years, and then you can add someone else to your stable versus just going out there buying something because of price. You're going out there, and if you know what you're looking at, sometimes the price could be at your favor. You could pick up a nice piece for a couple of $100.
Well, it goes
and-
into what to buy and why.
Right.
The number one rule would be to buy, when you start out, start small but think big. Start with some of the smaller pieces an artist might have, even reproductions of paintings or original prints might be in a budget range where you can start out easily. But think toward that larger piece. You need to eventually collect pieces that are large and more important
right.
that the
Right.
artist does. And that you need to plan ahead for those type of purchases. You might only do that once a year. A really large purchase you might only do once every 2
Right.
years. But even somebody with a modest income can purchase a very expensive piece of art if you plan ahead.
I think we've all experienced that. I know when I used to do the Ann Arbor Street Fair, which was, and I know you've been to it, Charles has been to it. It's not easy to get into because everybody wants to do it. It's a quality outdoor exhibition. And the thing I found, they get 500,000 people through in 4 days. But like you're saying, I met people that might have modest means, but they would save and plan, like you're saying, and be able to buy a major piece because that was part of their planning cycle. They would save money back a little at a time, and they would wait until that show happened. And maybe you might see them every other year, but that's exactly what happened.
Well,
And
they
it's
buy
like
that
you said.
major piece, but in the meantime,
Right.
they might be buying smaller.
Right.
But that's why you stick to, regardless, you stick to that major group of artists that you really like. Now, I've
Right.
seen situations where people will go in and they'll wait till the blue ribbon is passed out and thinking that one judge is going to be the ultimate.
Right.
One person's
And
opinion.
that one person opinion, and they'll go out there and they'll buy this artist work, and then it becomes nothing. I mean, that artist may not even do shows anymore, just stop being an artist.
Well,
So you pretty well have to find out if they dedicated to the field.
right. And we found out that every show, different judge, you'd have a different result. Like
Well-
David said, it's one person's opinion. You know, one of the things like David talked about is by going to the galleries, going to the museums, going on the web, and taking art in visual arts, taking them in, your eye gets better and better, and you can trust yourself. I mean, some people can't, like you said, I just don't know if I can do it till somebody else tells me it's good. No, if you're collectors, your passion's your judge.
Right.
And let that be what drives what you want to do. And one of the greatest compliments I ever got at an outdoor show, I had a lady who would come into my booth with a decorator. We talked about matching the stuff. And her decorator, oh no, you have to get this or that and that. And she kept looking at my work, telling me how much she liked it. Well, she left. Well, she came back the next day and said, I'm going to buy it because I like it. I don't care what my decorator said. That meant a lot to me. You know, and that's what I'm saying. You can trust that. I mean, you know, like you're talking about, the more you look, the more you see, you're going to get a trained eye. I mean, that's what collectors do, and you have to start.
Well, the collector is an archives
Yeah.
to the artist, because a lot of things that I have done down through the years, and being an artist, I'm going to reject some pieces, but they'll go in and buy them, because I found out over a period of years that I really don't have any taste, although I'm the artist. Some of the things that I don't like, they love, that I could have threw it up against the wall. But then coming back 20 or 25 years after the fact and look at those pieces from a totally different eye, that educating me. So we're
Right.
getting this one-on-one reaction, and that's what good collectors do. It's a trade-off.
So, yeah, talk to the artist. That's why
That's-
we've been doing this webcast.
It's
People
one of
can
the most
interact.
important things to do
Right.
is
Talk to the artist and talk. That's why we have this with the webcast. We're trying to do a way where we can't, travel like we used to, but we're trying to do a way where people can interact, and that's part of what we do here at ArtStream Live. And, studio visits. You could go, I know Charles.
Yeah.
How many people have visited you in the studio? I mean, what
I
an
mean,
opportunity.
down through the years.
I mean, what an opportunity! And go to the shows, go to the website, and of course, ArtStream Live right here.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
don't be afraid to
Yeah.
talk to gallery owners, gallery directors, and don't be afraid to email or an artist and ask them about the artwork.
Mhm.
I mean, that's one of the ways you learn is,
Right.
is asking questions.
I mean, with the web, it's so easy now to just email and get that information.
Mhm.
And then you can just do your research. I mean,
Right.
your homework is much easier than what it was, say, 25 or 30 years ago.
And like David said, the quote on here, I really like this, says, "You can't support the arts without supporting the artist."
That's my mantra.
That's where it starts. I mean, it's like I've talked at the museum. We'll have exhibitions, but if we didn't have artists, we got empty walls.
Right.
So you gotta have the artists making the art. So what kind of wrap this up, David? What are some high points you
Well,
think we could just real quick?
There's a few don'ts about
Okay.
collecting art. I mean,
Do not. Okay.
yeah, do nots. Don't just buy only small items. Don't end up with a collection of 300 knickknacks, because you'll have 300 knickknacks.
Mm-hmm.
Back to what we said before, you need to develop a full range of work. If you're only collecting one or two or three artists, try to get something over the years. Try to get different size works, everything from the largest that the artist might
Mhm.
do. You'll end up with a better balanced collection, and in the end, probably be more satisfying to the collector. Don't buy all reproductions and all entry level work.
Right.
If a painter, whatever, don't just buy giclées.
Mhm.
Although every artist is glad to sell one,
Right.
but that's your entry level. That's a way to find
Mhm.
and appreciate that image, but eventually plan to buy original. Don't, whatever you do,
Mm-hmm.
don't collect themed art like giraffes, fish, owls. That's decorating. It's not really collecting. I mean, that's
Well, an overall
well,
thing.
overall.
Like I've met people that collect clay works, but it has to be something from the animal world. But they're not just doing one animal.
Right. It's
But
not
it's more
300
rounded,
owls.
a more open approach. Right.
Well, they
yeah.
got it.
You have to have a little latitude and
Right.
Well, they got it now where it was a such. I'm not gonna call the name, but this big artist, and he's been collected around the world, and now the curtain is being drawn because there's so much of it out there that it ended up being worthless
Right.
because nobody knows if that's an original or what.
Yeah.
So you just have to do your homework and make sure that you know what you're buying.
And like you said, don't collect just one artist. Well,
Diversify,
okay. All right.
try for a balanced collection. Focus on the core of your collection. In other words, there's those
Mm-hmm.
the core of what you. It's not just the major works, but the core would be what you develop as
Right.
the parameters of what your collection is. Almost everybody's passion. They, like you say, they develop that passion, but it's usually fairly focused. They don't just go out and buy everything.
I've actually met a few individuals that were so passionate about an artist's work that they actually became agents for the artist later on. And but that's the thing I want to let people know, that we make the art, but we appreciate the people that take the time to look at it, talk to us about it,
Which
You know.
brings up the final don't.
Right.
Don't stop collecting.
Collecting, right.
Once you start, don't stop. A lot of people will, as an artist changes, they will
Hmm.
stop collecting.
Well, artists do change. That's true.
Well-
Yeah, and artists, if they didn't change, then they're not growing at all.
They're not growing, and it's like I know I have met artists that get locked in a particular style, and they are afraid to change because
Oh,
they've
yeah.
gotten negative feedback from the collector, and yet they're desperate to want to try new ideas. So you're right. There's a balance there, but I've always appreciated everyone that took the time to come out and would look at my work and actually support my efforts. Because what they may not understand is that meant I could make some more art.
That's right.
Because unfortunately, artists have to eat, and we have to pay mortgages too. But the support of collectors is deeply appreciated, and we thought that would be fun to talk about tonight. If you've got some feedback on what we've said tonight, we'd love to hear it. Email us, call us, whatever. We're here to hear from you. In fact, talking about collecting, I think you guys would like to share some possible works available for
Sure,
collectors
why not?
tonight.
These are all G-clay prints, and they're all available. We'll put the prices up in a few minutes. Just going to go through these pretty quickly. If you have questions about any of them, just let us know. Boudreaux likes this one.
And I've actually
There we
seen
go.
some original canvases behind us tonight too.
Yep, these are all from originals that are most of them are available. Some aren't. And these are in limited editions of 250, and in a very affordable price range, $35 to $85. Now this one's done of a monoprint.
Yeah, I like that. I don't remember seeing that one.
Yeah,
That's
that
nice.
was done of an older piece, but I have to hold it still so the autofocus can catch up with it. But there were two imprints from the glass plate on this. This is the better of the two.
Are these going to be available at the Artstream Live website? Will people can see
Yes, we usually have most of these, and if you don't find anything there that you see here, there's an email address there. You can inquire about these. Just
them? That's artstreamlive.com.
yeah, let us know which one. And I think there's an artist in the room who purchased 3 of these for gifts. It is the gift giving time.
I hear.
Okay, that's the last one.
All right.
I think Kurt has some.
Well, I think
Christmas
Charles,
cards.
let's let Charles
Charles,
go ahead.
okay.
Yeah, I think Charles got some things he wants
Okay,
to
I'm
share
gonna
with
put this
people.
up here for Charles,
All right.
and I think that
We'll
will.
let Charles come around. He can share what he'd like to share tonight.
What do you got?
All right, you want to put that up on the box? We're going to have to zoom back a little bit on that Boudreaux. Can we? She's in the back, Charles. You can put it up here if you want
I
to.
got another one here.
All right, let me show that one first. All right,
That's
All right.
there we go.
These are some of the newer pots.
All right, she's going to zoom in on the one you got on the pedestal there. So. You want her to get the whole group or just the one?
The whole group.
All right,
Yeah,
that's as far back as you can
As
go.
far as
yeah. This is fine.
All
But
right.
these are some of the newer ones that I'm working on, and I've changed up somewhat because this is just sort of a natural progression, and you get that feel, especially this one here, because it's a footed vase, and these are things that just.
Yeah, leave that one, put it on there.
Yeah, put it on the box for them to see. There you go. Put it
This
there.
is a situation that is just more of an involvement, whereas I'm going in now, and I just found myself doing this, is designing their foot versus just having it plain.
Mm.
So that's just that evolution, and then doing a wider design area on one section of it, where this way I have that dominant whale, and these are just things that just automatically happen. It's not anything that just planned per se, but these are just pieces that evolve simply because of the age. And this one is another one that I'm working on. It's a series of having a brown base and having a wavy top.
Oh yeah, that's on
So
your top.
this is That still is just the way the artists work. It's nothing planned out, like I said. It's just that evolvement, and it's just about it. And this is just some of the newer pieces. So check my website or check Off Streamwide. And the next one is my standard, which is the tripod.
Yeah.
So that's just white and black.
Segment for the camera.
Yeah, the
to get
wavy
focused.
top pots, the first one you did, I remember having a single word reaction to it.
What was that?
Wow.
Oh, what I like what Charles said. He talks about his work evolving. You know, people we've known Charles a long time, and people go, "Well, his work doesn't change." And I, oh, yes, it does.
Oh, it's changed.
And
I've
it
got
has
pieces
changed
from the
but-
80s and then.
But
yeah.
what I like about Charles, he doesn't just do it for the sake of change. He's got a one piece like this shape on the top. I mean, I could see that coming from the design patterns you did and three-dimensionalizing it into the actual
Right.
pot. That's a normal progression. That's what I like about what he does. His work changes, but he's always got it's a reason behind it that makes sense. That's good.
But you don't change simply because people tell you, say, well,
No.
this is the thing that it's it's actually a compliment because they say, well, his work don't change, but then again, they can recognize it.
Yeah. And,
So this is something that you don't have to end up looking at the bottom of the pot.
Yeah, these
But it's, I
chemicals
despise
come-
his work anyway. His work is not going to change. But like as Curtis said, it's always changed simply because you got different factors to look at.
But
You
the
got
changes come from you, like
But
you
the
said.
the
right.
change is going to come is that you may not see it because you got different elements that change because you got different line weights, you got the thickness of the clay. When you start looking at these things, if you look at the pieces that I did 30 years ago, they may look the same now, but when you start investigating,
Mhm.
totally different hand.
And the
You look at the
collectors-
clay, the weight, and all this stuff have changed.
Like we talked about with the collectors, you know, they can really, especially the ones over the years, they can have an incredibly cool range of your work,
Right.
and that just is so neat. I mean,
So, and then you got those people that have collected, that started collecting, let's say 5 years ago, and they thinking that I started doing the black and tan, but now they find out I actually started with the blues. They got a void in their collection, and those pots aren't available. They're
I'm not
they're
selling
rare,
mine.
but it's now they got a void and they're trying to catch up, and those pots are much expensive.
mhm.
So those are the things that you got to look at. It's those things that's rare, that I can't do anymore, that nobody's putting it on the secondary market. So when they do come up,
Like Mixaglyphs.
yeah.
Right.
So that's another thing that collectors look at, is that I buy it because I like it. But if they ever come up on the market, that person that's been left out, who just started collecting, got to pay dearly on the backside.
Yeah,
It's
I got into a bidding war on the secondary market for one of your pots with one of your collectors. I lost.
what, a couple of weeks ago?
No, that was last year.
Yeah.
Your friend from Louisiana.
Oh yeah. So that's just the general idea on what to expect.
All right, well, thanks, Charles. I'm going to share a little bit. Being November, we're coming up into the Christmas season, so I wanted to share again tonight. I have always done, during the years in the past, I did a serigraph at Christmas time, and since they were handmade prints, I had to sell them for quite a little bit more. You know, people wanted to know, would you have cards? They thought, oh, this would make a great Christmas card. So I selected 10 images and went to a pretty good little bit of investment, but I've actually been able to print up a set of 10 cards. And in a minute, I'm going to show these to you. Boudreaux will bring that up in a moment. But I want to let you know what I've got is you can get 4 cards and 4 envelopes of the same image for $5, or you can get all 10 cards in a variety pack with 10 envelopes for $12.50. So that's how they're available. They're 5 by 7, and you open them up. They have a little Christmas greeting in each one. And in a minute, Boudreaux will bring up. In fact, why don't you start, Boudreaux, now and bring up those images, and people can see them a little bit better. All right, this one is called Away in a Manger, and it's a serigraph I did from 1988. And I think the next slide will show what's in that card, if I remember right. Whoop, it skipped it. Well, there it is. Okay. So that's actually what's in that card. All right, you go to the next one, Boudreaux. It's called Bethlehem Bound, and I did this in 1989. This silk screen sold out incredibly fast. I still have people wishing I had more they could buy. I do have them available in the G clay, but the original serigraphs are gone. I actually did destroy the stencils, which truly does limit the edition. You can show them what's in that one real quick, Boudreaux. Alright. And then the next image is called Born on Christmas Day. Alright, you can show the next. And that's what's in that one. Alright, Boudreaux, you can go to the next image. Okay, that's Christmas Angel. And that was another very popular one that I did. I had a lot of fun making that. A lot of screens to come up with that. And actually got printed in the newspaper on full page. That was kind of fun when they did that. So like I said, these are all 5x7 cards. They come with envelopes. You can call me or email us. Okay, this one's called Christmas Star. Nice red border on that one. Alright, that's Jubilation. I've always had fun with the angels. They're a lot of fun to do. So that's another one I've done. Next in that one. Okay, this is one of my all-time favorites called Miracle in a Manger. It's another one that was very, very popular. And I may have some of those left. I'd have to look, but they don't go cheap anymore. So that was, I'm trying to remember if that was 40 stencils. There was a lot of work and effort in that piece. I did that the year my daughter was born, and that's actually her in the picture, but nobody else knew that. But I'll share that with, well, my friends knew that. But she makes such a cute little baby Jesus, I put her in there.
How many
So.
editions was it?
I did 100 in that edition. By hand, each one of them. Okay, the next one. Okay, this piece is called O Holy Night. That has sold out. I actually came across one of those in a store and bought it back so I could have another one. So. Alright, this piece is called Star in the East. A little bit more of a Middle Eastern feeling on that one. Working with a transparent ink, you get more of a watercolor feel with the ink. Alright, and then the last one that I have available with my Christmas card is called The Herald Angels Sing. So, like I said, if you're interested in these, like I said, what I can do is I can do a pack of 4 cards, 4 envelopes, the same image for $5. Or if you want all 10, variety pack would be $12.50, 10 images. Now, I have to charge shipping, of course, to send it to them, but that's what I've got for them if they're interested tonight.
Check the website, get in touch with you there. Or...
Right, yeah, easily. So, I think, well, I see Big Buck's made it tonight, Will.
Yeah, he's always lurking around somewhere.
I think he gets a little bit more worried as Thanksgiving gets closer, you know. But
well,
he, you know,
in his
so.
condition, I don't think he has anything to worry about.
All right. Well, any final closing comments? We do have. We've got something special coming up next month. We have a celebration. What are we going to be celebrating?
1 year anniversary.
1 year anniversary. We've actually been webcasting for a year. And we're going to have something special for you then. And we're not going to tell you everything, but join us in a month, first Saturday of December.
There'll be some lucky people next time.
Yep.
Right?
And
First
we'll
Saturday
show,
in September, or December.
I don't know if we have any bloopers we want to share, but we do have some highlights I'm sure we'll share with people and let them know.
I'm sure we'll have something.
I might find a little video of Charles playing with a rubber chicken. I don't know. We'll see what I can do on that.
I think we might have a small, short video of him discussing ceramics.
Right, we may have that. No telling what will happen, but we appreciate all of you that have joined us, taking the time to watch our webcast. We hope you enjoy it. Like I said, we're here to interact. That was the whole idea behind this, and a way to reach out to folks, share our art, and have a way to interact with us. And we thank you all for joining. Any closing comments?
That's it.
All right.
Well,
thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, a great holiday season. Remember, we've got a lot to be thankful for, and we look forward to joining you next month.
Yep.
First Saturday?
First Saturday, 7 p.m.
And you can always check us out, artstreamlive.com, artstreamlive at Facebook, our Facebook page.
Right.
Any other way to reach us?
Yeah, all those phone numbers that have been on the screen all night.
Email, okay.
The email address has been on the screen.
All right.
Artstreamlive@gmail.com.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you all, and good night.
Good night.